Hi, I am Claire Vail. I am the Vice President of Communications and Digital Strategy for American Ancestors.
And I'm Ryan Woods, the President and CEO of American Ancestors, the organization that is leading the 10 Million Names Project.
I guess I'm the first one up. Can you tell me how many different partners and kind of what their contribution is to this project?
We have dozens of partners for the 10 Million Names Project. They include cultural institutions, genealogical organizations, descendant groups, as well as higher education institutions. And the collaborations with our partners are many and varied. It includes help with indexing records. We are receiving content from partners such as the Daughters of the American Revolution, who have contributed their Patriots of Color database, and we're helping to re-index some of that material for greater discoverability. We're working with the White House Historical Association to illuminate the names and lives of individuals of enslaved laborers who helped to build the White House and Capitol, as just a couple of examples. And one of our key partners is Family Search. Family Search is contributing records to the project and helping to identify collections within Family Search's holdings that can be digitized or indexed for information such as race that will help to increase the discoverability of that material.
And I'll add just a comment about one more important partner for us, and that's OGS, the Afro-American Historical and Genealogical Society. So they have been a profound help to us in many ways. As you know, they have chapters in nearly every state in the country.
Well, I am a descendant of slaveholders, and I have found people in wills. And one of the presentations we're doing this week is on one particular man who in Virginia in 1792 brought a captured indigenous child to the court to have his name judged. And I guess my question is twofold. First, is it any race of enslaved individuals that are part of this project, or is it concentrated on African descent?
The primary focus of the 10 Million Names Project are people of African descent. However, when we are able to recover and restore names of enslaved persons of any race as part of the 10 Million Names Project, we will capture and make available that information. So we have a wide net, so to speak, on the project. And just to note that it is incredibly important to have the participation of people who are doing research and they come across records of enslavers, or even individuals who are the descendants of enslavers. As one of our board members for the project, Henry Louis Gates, often says, guilt is not inheritable. And so we really want to ensure that we have wide participation in the project. In particular, because we're focused in the early period before emancipation, where records heretofore have not been made available at scale. And in many of those cases, the records will be held by families or institutions who were enslavers. And that's a critical part of the partnership to bring to light the names of America's enslaved persons of African descent. And so in that way, too, we are casting a wide net for participation.
And one of the things that we present about is a lot of people have this idea about preserving the nice parts of their family history and not addressing the wrongs that their ancestors. And I wonder what advice you have, because currently what we're saying is it's not your baggage, but you can promote reconciliation. But I just wonder what your advice would be.
Absolutely. We believe that family history at large is a source of joy, inspiration, education, empowerment, and it's also a source of healing and repair for people who are making connections to their lost ancestors, but it's also a way for people to make a positive contribution. We say that we understand as family historians the power and promise of family history and how that allows us to make connections across time and place, and to allow more people to have access to those benefits. That whether you're the descendant of an enslaver or not, you have the opportunity by bringing forth those records and that history to help people experience what we all know as family historians. And what we see with people who make connections to their enslaved ancestors, we are recovering and restoring connections that have been lost over time. And so this is ultimately a project about inspiration and empowerment, and healing and repair is part of that across all participants.
And I'll just add, we actually, since launching 10 Million Names, we've been contacted by quite a few amateur and professional genealogists who have created databases, white genealogists who have ancestors who were enslavers, and they've done the work to track down the people that their people enslaved. And they are sharing that data with us, and then that becomes part of our collective database. So that's very, very helpful to us. This project is not, it's not only for Black Americans, it's for all Americans.
Thank you.
So as a Canadian, I'm wondering if there's any involvement by Library and Archives Canada, because a lot of enslaved people escaped to Canada through the Underground Railroad. Do you know?
There are several different ways. This project is international in that sense. One more example that we're keenly interested and focused on right now, as we approach the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution, we know that between so-called Black patriots and Black loyalists, that there were an estimated some 30,000 participants, people of color, in the American Revolution. And many Black loyalists went to Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. And there are important records from New York City, for example, in 1783, when the Black loyalists were brought to Canada. And so we're working with descendant groups as well as archives to bring to light those names. And those records are incredibly detailed. One of the databases that we've launched, a Black Loyalist Directory, includes more than 3,000 names of formerly enslaved people and Black loyalists who served in the American Revolution and then were brought to Nova Scotia. And there are descendant communities and important archives in Nova Scotia as well as New Brunswick in that particular instance, as well as self-emancipated people. And so we look forward to, again, casting a wide net of participation across boundaries and countries in this case.
Thank you.
My question for you guys is, how did you come up with this project? Who initiated it? What was the idea behind it? How did you get it going? And how long did it take you to move things along?
So the first proof of concept, if you will, for this type of work at scale came about with our collaboration with the Georgetown Memory Project. The Georgetown Memory Project is an effort to identify the enslaved individuals that were part of a sale in 1838 by Jesuits in Maryland to fund the expansion of Georgetown College, which became Georgetown University. And that work, from a genealogical perspective, was started by our colleague Richard Cellini. Richard is an alum of Georgetown and was initially curious about what happened to the individuals who were named in this 1838 sale. They were brought to two plantations in Louisiana, and the longtime lore was that most of the individuals died in transport and travel from Maryland to Louisiana. It turns out that's not the case. Most all of those individuals, in fact, made it from Maryland to Louisiana. And through the collaborative efforts that Richard began with genealogists that work we now steward, we've identified more than 200 of the individuals in that sale document and more than 12,000 of their descendants. And so the Georgetown Memory Project and the proof of concept led Richard Cellini to propose a national project, which became the 10 Million Names Project. Because of our work together, we became the leaders of that collaborative effort, and we launched the 10 Million Names Project officially in August of 2023 in Birmingham, Alabama, in collaboration with the National Association of Black Journalists. And we are now working in earnest with our partners and collaborators to conduct research, to build databases, and we're adding material and new knowledge every day to 10 Million Names.